We have a project plan for this wall here, which entails moving that stuff off the wall and the tractor and probably the snow blower and a bunch of stuff that's in the trailer. Here's these shelves. But that's what we're working on right now. Okay, I kind of have a pattern down now as to how to put these things up. And one comment here is these things are going to stay at the same level, which means these shelves are going to get higher as it goes out. But I really have no control over that because I don't want to move away from this 2x4 here, which gives me a solid mount, which determines the height of this thing. I really have no other choice. Now, the next step is putting it on the wall. We're going to put it on the wall. So if I want to center it on the wall, I have to be 9 1/8 inches away from there. So that gives me that side and that gives me this side. Now I want to cut the 2x4 spacer that goes in back of the frame to hold it away from the barn wall so we don't damage it. And what I'm trying to do is run it from the top all the way to the bottom. Not that it gives me any structural strength, it just makes me feel better. And then when I do the bottom here and extend the metal down, it'll look like this thing was meant to run the back of it. So that's what we're going to do. So I don't know if you can see this laser line here, but what I want to do is get 2 measurements from here to there and then go cut those pieces of wood. So this is 101 inches. 101 inches. And this is 104 inches. 101, 104. Now just another interesting note here. You see these bolts that hold the panel on? Well, this one doesn't have any bolts behind it, but this one will have bolts behind it. So what I've done is I've just taken the bolts out and then I put the 2x4 up against it and I bolt the frame to it so the metal is being held against the 2x4. And it saves me having to notch out the back side of the 2x4 for the bolt head. We're going to try this again. See if we can do it a little more delicately. This is the side that has to face out. So when I pick it up, it's going to be facing the wrong way. So I got to be able to twist it. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3. I'm going to have enough slot between these two to get it to hang far enough so I can twist it. I'll try. I'm going to, you're going to hold it so it's like this.
Oh, right,
okay?
this far, okay.
I'm going to go that way. You're going to keep this thing this way.
Gotcha.
All right, I'm going to put that end down on the ground.
Yes.
Then I'm going to lower it and back up at the same time.
Gotcha.
And it's tough to do that smoothly.
And I'm only going to leave it
All
in
I'm going to do
this
is get it like that, and once it's sitting there on the floor,
Yeah.
get away from it, because these things aren't locked in very well, and they may very well flap open. What?
Do you want me to take that off?
No, we're all set for Arthur when he's ready. So that's hanging the right way.
Can I roll again?
Yeah, you can go now. Alright, this is the side that faces the wall. This side is the side that faces the wall. It will spin around. As we go further down, we got to get it higher in the air. When we pick it up, we want to pick it up with as much boom as we can. And then you're going to have to tilt this back so that I can spin this and not interfere with the fork. Ready? Now I'll turn it back on. The pump will change. Oh, we gotta go up though. We do have to go up. Let me get the laser all set. The metal is tough. Beauty. Yeah, except for one thing. Okay, what? Looks like that hook is strapped behind the wall. Okay, we gotta lower it down, take tension off of that. Good thing we got so many floor jacks. What's that? Good thing we got so many floor jacks.
Really?
We've never had so many.
Yeah.
They're certainly convenient too. Feast or famine when it comes to floor jacks, I guess. Yeah. 10 minutes, okay. This is part of the good deal shelves that we bought at that repair shop that was going out of business. And they're nice, they fold down from the wall. They used to be used inside of trucks, like delivery trucks, I guess. But in order to hang them on the side of the barn, I got to do a couple things. This barn wall is ribbed, and I want to do as little damage as possible. So what I did is I took a 2x4 and I put it on its side, which lifts this thing away from the wall, doesn't damage the ribs. So the only damage done to the barn wall are the holes. Now I got 6 across the top, so you know there are holes, but they could be puttied and painted and you would not know. So So this one worked out real nice. On the next one, the distance between the two outlets was different, which pushed this frame further that way, which put it closer to this rib, so I couldn't use a full 2x4. So I cut a 2x4 in half. Now this 2x4 is not really doing anything structural, it's just a spacer. The way the barn wall was built is, this is a pole barn, and then they took 2x4s and they strapped the poles, and then they screwed the metal to it. So every 2 feet, there's a 2x4 running that way. This wall is unique in that there was a beam up there with bolts. So they had to space the wall a little further away in order to clear the bolts to get a flat wall. So what they really have here is a 2x4 block nailed to a post, and then the strapping nailed to that. That's all nailed. So it really doesn't make any difference how strong I make these bolts. I think the limiting factor is the nails holding the strapping to the posts. So I'm not going to put a lot of weight on these things. It's more for volume than anything else. And I'm going to go from the bottom of the frame to the floor with a piece of metal so the wall is not supporting the weight. What's going to happen is that what the wall has to support is a tendency to fall away from the wall up here. So if I use lightweight up here and heavyweight down here, there's not much leverage here, and with a heavyweight down here, you got all this leverage to hold it up to the wall, so I think I'm fine. So now, in order to do all that, what I have to do is put a lag bolt through this metal frame, through a 2x4 spacer, and into the 2x4. And that's what I'm doing right now. What I just did is put this spacer, the half 2x4, as tight up against this rib as I can get it. Now we gotta go with the wire. So, lag bolt through spacer, not damaging the rib, up against the metal, which is on a 2x4 strapping, which is nailed to a spacer block, which is nailed to a post. Those posts are every 8 feet apart. There's that. As I've stated before, these are folding shelves. They have a brace here that runs between the shelf and the back frame. You have to excuse me a little bit, I have a little bit of a cold. This is the bottom bracket, and the pivot pin is missing. It goes right there. It's a simple bolt, washer, bolt, lock, nylock. So I don't have the nylon washer that goes between the two, but I can just use a normal washer, and it'll, for the life of what I use it for, course, it's the wrong one. So I don't want it quite that tight. I guess I'm gonna have to back that off a little bit. Okay. Gotta do the same thing on that end. Can you see it? So this is the end that we switch the latch on. Well, the latch is on the same side, so the latch is there. We want to take it from this side and put it over there. And there's two, so I get an extra one. And it goes in or out? It goes, this pivot point goes in. These bolts went out and this goes in based on the one that was here. And the original ones were this long, so I left them this long. They probably did that so that if it vibrated loose going down the road, you'd have a chance to see it. Okay. So, now, I've got a bolt there, I've got a bolt there. I don't have a bolt there, so I'm going to put a bolt there, and then we'll go up above. So what I'm doing here is we put this up here just to get the thing up here so it was in position, and then I put some bolts on the side so it's stabilized. Now I'm going to come back and take this out. So I'll take this bolt out and then just do the same spacing inches as on that one. I've got the rail on this side, the rail on that side, and I'll put one block there and one block there. 2 bolts on each block, one bolt there, one bolt there. That's 6 across the top. And these are 5/16, probably 3.5 inch long. So it goes through this 2x4, the 2x4 that's in the wall, and cross my fingers gets into a post or something, but it's long enough to do that. All the wires are routed in back of the 2x4s here, so I'm not worried about hitting anything. So what we got to do is put this block here so it's centered. And these things will not poke through the metal. You have to drill a hole. So that's the first step. So get this lined up where it wants to go. Just poke a hole through that. And I don't want to split the 2x4, so I'm drilling the hole for the lab. So let's put one in. Okay, it's just loose. Then we'll drill this one. goes up and this frame is done.